Hello, everyone. My name is Builder. I'd like to welcome you back into another episode of MineColonies. I hope you're having a great day so far. So, I know it's been a little while since our last episode. I unfortunately had an unforeseen issue with my graphics card, which required it to be RMA'd. Just a good reminder to always check your cable connections. I was inside my PC cleaning it out, and it looked like there was a little bit of charring in the power connector slot, which I'm glad I found. It must have became dislodged at some point when I was within the case. The graphics card was still working fine, but in a situation like that with a graphics card that pulls a good amount of power, it's always a good idea to play it safe. So I sent it in for RMA and it just took a few weeks and I finally got it back. So I didn't have a lot to do in the world in between, getting the graphics card back, reinstalling it, and between recording here. I only had a little bit of time to do some things, so I figured we'd do a very brief kind of update on what's been going on in the colony before we jump into today's build. So let me pop back into first person mode here. And as the sun kind of sets in the distance, I think we'll be able to get most of the update of the colony done. So I'm actually going to come on over here and we're going to take our SUV. Let's go ahead and get that started. Nice smoke plume behind. And let's head on over to, well, we'll start in the lower part of the colony. So I'm going to do some very reckless driving here and just kind of go across, but we'll go down this way. Oh, a little bit of lag there. And we will head on over here first. Looks like there was some fight there. I saw a little XP orb hanging out. So in between from the last episode, I've only done a few building upgrades. One of them being I've gotten the concrete mixer up to level 4. We're going to look to hopefully get this up to level 5 very quickly here, but I did a little bit more upgrading there. Most of these buildings actually down this way are already level 5, so we're in pretty good shape over here. And there's a few guard towers that we do have to upgrade as well. But let's head on over to the eastern portion of our colony. And I'll kind of show off the Sifter's Hut, which I finally got up to level 5. I figured that it would be a good upgrade over here for the Sifter. So let me just go ahead and just kind of show it off very quickly. Again, I really love the Caledonia style. It's such a beautiful style, but it was a pretty easy upgrade actually for a level 5 Sifter. So it's our worker there, but we're all maxed out here. And most of the buildings in this area as well are up to level 5, with the exception of the Dyer's Hut. And that's mostly because, again, our miners and our smelters are so efficient that it's been tough to get some of the necessary blocks to do it. I will probably just have to go mining myself to grab some of them with my Silk Touch pickaxe, but for example, like a coal ore and a block, because usually it'll get smelted down. I do have some requests for items, but I've only gotten a few blocks so far, like iron there, but there are a few other types of blocks that I do need, like, a Silk Touch, for example, like with the gold ore here. So I'll have to look to maybe just go mining myself and maybe try to grab those, but this has been kind of stalled out. You can see it's still at level 2. It's actually one of the lower tier buildings in our colony. Again, most of them are up to around level 4 or 5 at this point. We actually just have I think 2 or 3 level 2s, but let me hop back into the car over here and let's go ahead and let's go to the other side of our colony. Here are most of these buildings as well are up to level 5 as well. And actually have to do some pruning over here because these trees have gotten like out of control. The blocks that are remaining, they've grown so tall and that. But let's go ahead and let's head on up here. We've actually had a little bit of an issue with a food supply, and let me just explain. So I originally, because we had a significant amount of blockage in the warehouse from a ton of different items, so I had turned off a couple of the production buildings, but the food supply had shrunk quicker than anticipated. So been battling to actually, let's just go down. I'll walk down there. I forgot it didn't get a chance to fix this. So I started putting in a road coming down to the lower part here. You can see it is only partially constructed right now, but just to connect the lower part again, the last time we did the graveyard, and I actually went ahead and built a second one. In the last episode, I kind of talked about how I was debating whether or not to build a second one, and I thought it might be a good idea to put a second one in. Again, there's not a lot of space down here. You can see this area is kind of full up, but I've actually hit kind of a wall upgrading here because we're going to need a good amount of mossy stone bricks, and I don't think that there's a way to automate that, unfortunately. So I think we're going to have to try to do that ourselves. If anyone's kind of done it, because I notice even here mossy cobblestone, mossy stone bricks, a good amount of them actually. So if anyone's had any success with doing those, please let me know. I'd be curious to see if anyone has a good moss farm idea there, because I know we could definitely use a good one here. So for the time being, we're kind of stuck at level 2 over here, and this one again is just a basic level 1. I haven't upgraded it. I haven't assigned any employees to this one, so this was just kind of hanging out for now. And over here, I'm actually going to put in a second forester's hut. Now, we do have a good amount of wood, but the main purpose for doing this is I think we're going to do more specialty wood in this area. So again, this is what kind of an area where I was measuring out, but we have just a little bit of space, but I figured we would do some more like specialty trees that are not oak or spruce or birch, since that's basically what our other forester does. I figured we would kind of focus a little bit more over here, maybe on like jungle wood or acacia, any of those types of wood, and maybe some other wood that we come across in the world as we're out and about that maybe could become useful. And I see a golem that has got stuck down here in our waterfall area down here. You can see that this is still going on, and you can kind of hear very faintly the sound of the rushing water back there, very soothing and calming. But it was just winter just a short time ago. I actually let the world run for a little bit while you could see some of the ice breaking apart and kind of floating out there, courtesy of the physics mod. But yeah, I kind of let the world run a little bit just so we could get into spring. But it looks like one of the golems found their way down from up the hill, because one was trapped up there down below the waterfall, so maybe took a tumble down, but not as dangerous as going over Niagara Falls, this one. There. But yeah, this one's kind of on hold as well, because we're going to have to push back the wall a little bit here. And I'm thinking, as I've mentioned before, even though I think I'm hoping that we can eventually claim this island right here as part of ours and put a guard tower there. So we'll see what today's built, because again, when I put the graveyards in, it didn't really push it. This island right here, again, we're kind of right at the border of our colony. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we will be able to eventually claim that and maybe make that a guard tower and push the wall out a little bit. But yeah, so exciting stuff over here. Again, this part of the colony sat for so long, so I'm kind of happy that we're getting to make some use of it here. And of course, over here, I've been doing some digging out, because today's build, and oh, another golem stuck up there too. Today's build's actually, we're going to try to fit it in this area right over here. So what I'm going to do is, because again, the sun's kind of setting in the distance over there, I'm going to try to get some sleep very quickly, and we will come back right over here for the today's build. So very brief update. I know not a lot to share. Hopefully I'll have a little bit more to share next time. But yeah, a lot of work to do, especially down in this area here as well. So yeah, let me go get some sleep, and we'll jump right into today's build. And we're back. So the sun's rising in the direction behind the camera here on a brand new day in our MineColonies world. And today we're going to be building the mystical site. It's hard to believe, but we only have a handful of new builds remaining at this point. And I figured it would be a good time to put the mystical site in, because again, we put the graveyard in. And also, I thought it would be kind of fitting in this direction, because again, there's not really a lot over in this part of the colony. Again, we've been building it out a little bit, but this kind of area I've been digging out, and we put the waterfall in, and the mystical site kind of seems like a good fit to be right here next to a waterfall. I think we should be able to fit it again. Again, if you could see where we are, we do have some room, but I think because again, I'm going to try to line it up here with the edges. So I do think that we should have a good amount of room here to fit it in. But I thought it'd be like a nice touch having it next to a waterfall there. So what we're going to do is let's jump in over to the MineColonies wiki and read up on the mystical site, and then we will jump into, well, the formula for it, placing it down, and into today's build. Okay, so we're over here on the MineColonies wiki, which again, I try to plug this every episode, but especially if you're just starting out, this is a tremendous resource to kind of guide you on building out your colony. But yeah, so we're hanging out over here on the site. So we're on the mystical site page here. And you can see here that there is some research that's required in the university, which we have finished a little while ago. But you can see it says the mystical site is a simple building that increase a colony's overall happiness level. Again, with our colony, our colonists have actually been hanging out at 10 for the longest time. Again, we haven't really had many civilian deaths in a long time since we put up the wall. Again, most of the time it's soldier deaths, unfortunately, if we have any deaths in our colony. It's very rare at this point that we do have any civilian deaths, but you can see it doesn't have a worker, and it increases colonist happiness just by existing. So we won't be assigning a worker over to this build here. And then you can see too, the Undertaker will visit the mystical site when there are no colonists to bury. Doing so will increase their mana skill, and as such, their chance of resurrecting a killed citizen. So that's kind of good. It kind of goes hand in hand since we just did the graveyard episode, now to kind of fit the mystical site in. And you can even see on the bottom here, the GUI is very basic. Again, it's just about basically upgrading, it looks like. Here, there isn't like any other real options in the mystical site guide here. So pretty basic. I'm sure this is probably going to be one of the more basic ones. And, you know, we can go ahead and see the formula right here. Again, it's rotating through the different types of planks, but I do have a diamond in the inventory. Of course, we have our build tool, and I have some oak planks for today. So let me hop back over into our world. We'll craft the block and we will place it down. Okay, so we're back into our MineColonies world, and I went ahead and I crafted the block for the mystical site again, just using our JEI menu here. You could just see again as a reminder that it's just surrounded by planks with a diamond and the build tool. So let's go ahead and with this block, I actually kind of I like the way that the block looks. I like the little stone hedge looking thing on there, but let's go ahead. We're going to try to fit it in here. Hopefully it won't be too big, and we're also going to be mindful of this existing right here so we don't fall in. So let's go ahead, use our build tool, and I'm guessing it's going to be under Mystic. We are under Caledonia style. Great. And let's go ahead and make this level 5. And yep, this is looking like a bigger one, but I think we're on our side here. So let's go ahead and flip it. And okay, I think this is, let's see, is this the front? I have to get a good look at the other side of it, but that's nice with the little plaque in memory of all the fallen heroes. Again, as we remember everyone, all the soldiers in that who passed away. And, you know, it even makes me think of, like, I think most of our original colonists, unfortunately, have passed away over time. Oh, I think the elytra got kind of stuck. Whoa. Fell right in, even though I said I was going to try to avoid that. But let's go ahead and sneak around here. Again, we just have to kind of finish filling this in. But yeah, so let's try to... Let's see, it doesn't look like there's going to be anything on the border here, so I think we might be okay to kind of just fit this. I want this to be kind of snug right over, and it looks like... Okay, so this is the back part, and yeah, I don't think we're going to fall in anywhere, but yeah, this looks like... It looks like it's the same on both sides, so it's got the same plaque in the middle. It's a nice touch there, but we'll move it over and then sink it down, and it should be okay even though it's right there. And let's see, even, you know, where I'm anticipating putting a road through, I want it to be more snug with the back here, and I figured we would just do like a path over here, like maybe a dirt path or something, because I think it looks like it's using dirt, yeah, for it. But yeah, this is a really nice touch. Here, we'll obviously have to dig this out a little bit more, but the road will be coming through right about here. So not that much, actually, about this block right here. So just a very short path, but let me just do one more check just to make sure we're good on the back end here, and we'll actually go down the waterfall, and looking good there. So I figure it's like a nice touch having it right there. So let's climb back up. Again, not as treacherous as going over, say, Niagara Falls, this one, but let's go ahead and this is the appropriate height, just making sure. Yep. Go ahead, place that back down right there. And let's see what happened to the block. I'm guessing it maybe got lost in here. So let's go ahead. Let me try to dig out a little bit. And again, we are using the physics mod, which is a little bit different. Again, getting used to it, but it does break the blocks on top of it. So let me see. I'm guessing it got buried somewhere in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out, and I will try to find out what happened to the block. And as soon as I find out, I will come back in. Oh, actually, you know what? Strike that. There it is, right there. Just popped up. So let's take a look. Scratch what I just said, and we're looking at, okay, 29 quartz blocks, so decent amount. There, bunch of quartz products. I'll have to check. I think we do have enough quartz, but I'll double check. There, some scaffolding, crackstone bricks, but it looks like they should be able to craft pretty much everything on their own. I just like to check and make sure that they're going to be able to do it. I'm going to check on our quartz supply just to make sure there's enough. But what we'll do is we'll cut out, of course, we'll observe the build, and we'll see what the level 1 looks like in our world. So let's jump on over into the build. Okay, and we're back. So it looks like it actually took more time for him to clear out some of the rock than it did to actually build this. I'm impressed with how fast, after the research, that their block placing speed has gotten. But yeah, pretty basic looking, actually, because I thought when he started putting the torches down that it was just like a few random little structures in here. But yeah, it's interesting for a level 1 build, but I'm sure it'll look even better as we continue to grow it. So again, I'll have to continue to check on the quartz supply. I think we probably burned through most of it actually just at level 1. Again, we're kind of low on the quartz side, but we do have our mystical site level 1. And let's just take a look, and I can see already quartz bricks 86. So this would be quite the climb to actually get this up to the next to the level 2 right now. So we'll probably have to wait a little while to get our quartz supply up. And yeah, just a lot of quartz all over, which makes sense. Again, like a mystical site, it's like some kind of, sculpture. Kind of think of like a use of a lot of quartz. But yeah, so definitely need a lot of quartz, at least with the Caledonia style here. But again, there's not much else to the GUI there. So just taking a look at the upgrading. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it as our troops come over to inspect the newest building in our colony. But I hope you enjoyed the update, very brief update on our colony and also the building of the mystical site. Again, we're down to just a handful of new builds left to go. So we're getting there. We're almost to the end. But I hope you'd enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, please consider dropping a like on the video. It really helps out our channel and our community. It's a great free way to support our channel. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's free. Again, another excellent way to support our channel and our community. So we'll be back. I hope to have a little bit more to report on updates of the colony in our next episode. But until then, my name is NerdBuilder. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.